I think you're funny as heck. Well, let me just go on with it. Make this video a little bit shorter than I normally make my videos. I'm a former Republican, so that's your first reason. I voted for Bush in 2000. Sorry. And I skipped the 2004 election. I apologize for that, but I couldn't see myself voting for Kerry. He's a nice guy, and I think he's definitely a lot more caring than Bush will ever be, especially now that we know a lot more about Bush. But he was just a little too robotic for me. But let's skip that. So the reason I'm saying you should vote for Obama is that I'm a Republican, and I will vote for him. My reason there is that if we're going to spend a lot of money, we might as well spend it here. The Republicans and Democrats are pretty much the same in terms of spending, and I wish we weren't spending as much money as we are, because we're going to bankrupt ourselves in the next few years. But regardless, I think that the Democrats have proven to actually be a lot more fiscally conservative than the Republicans have in the last previous administrations. So that's the first reason I'm a Republican. The second reason is Hillary voted on the Iraq War resolution. Now, she's from New York, so I can understand that a little bit, right? In 2000, or in 2002, October 2002, there was a lot of pressure with 9/11 and the whole, anti-terrorism fervor that kind of the specter that Bush and the neocons created. So there was a lot of pressure to vote along lines of patriotism. So the fact that she got caught up on that, or in that, to me actually tells me that she's more willing to vote along political pressure instead of doing the right thing. And that's scary. But I'll give her a little bit of credit, because I understand she's from New York, so she had her, her voters and her constituency probably putting pressure on her for that. So the bigger issue I have is that during the same period, Senator Levin put up an amendment to the war resolution that stated that the UN, that we should go in with the UN, that the UN and the US should work together to make sure that if there was any military action against Iraq, that the UN would play a large role, and the Security Council would sort of control and work with the US to make sure that we were doing things right, and that it wasn't just a unilateral US action. And 24 senators, a majority of the Democratic senators voted in favor of that amendment. Clinton did not, and her reasons were horrible. I'm not going to go into the details, but during the last debate, she kind of explained that she felt that the UN would have too much control, blah, blah, blah. That is not true. If you read the language of the amendment, which I have, it stated that the UN, while the UN and the US will work together, and we would like to see the UN and the US work together, collaborate in this war, or this effort to bring Saddam into compliance, it would have given the US the ability to eventually break away from that and say, you know what? We feel we're threatened. We feel that we have to do what we have to do, so we'll literally just cancel this agreement. So her excuse in the debate was not factual. It was a stretch at the very least. The third concern I have is that, so after all that's basically taken place with Iraq, all the lies, the Downing Street memos, where basically Blair and Bush were already planning, or Bush was trying to sell Blair on the fact that we were going to attack Iraq, and before the amendment was even passed, and that it was going to be a military action, and that we needed his support. Before any of this took place, war was already being mentioned by the administration. All that's been made public, so Hillary knows this. She still votes with Bush. The third thing, she votes for the Iran resolution, and that's bad.